Right, so I should travel north. Yes. What is this? Pasirti Banat mine. Zanzipilu. What does that mean? Morrowind Cave Delver. Explore and clear all 6 explorable caves in Wardenfels. Delves are solo-able dungeons found throughout the world. Delves will always contain a single sky shard and a boss who drops item set gear. Really? Okay. And what about this mine? What was this symbol? Those are sky shards, world bosses, public dungeons. Alright. How do you get there? So level 5, okay. Claim. Commit points. I don't want this. Okay. So I can morph one of my abilities, puncturing strikes. Ability morph available. So let's pick it. Choose an ability to morph puncturing strikes into. Biting jabs. New effect. Converts it to a stamina ability and increases your weapon critical rating when used. Or new effect. You heal for a percentage of the damage done. So I will pick this one. Okay. And I also have 1 skill points to spend. This is just a ranged spell, right? Okay. What about racial skills? Increases your experience gain with the dual wield. Reduces your damage taken from environmental lava. Okay. Increases your maximum magicka and maximum stamina. Okay. I can also morph this one. Uppercut. New effect also sets the enemy off balance. Hitting off balance enemies stuns them. Enemies that are immune to off balance are snared. Okay. Grants you empower after casting. Alright. I think I should choose stun. I just don't get where the entrance is. Okay. Who is there? Ah, yes. Nix hounds. Ah, there it is, okay. Okay. So I cannot enter it right now, looks like, right? Alright. Or can I? Facility Banat Mine. Sword, shield, drink. No, I cannot go right in. Okay. So what if I visit this dungeon, Zanzikulu? Can I go back the same way I came? Looks like I cannot. Cliff Strider. Okay.
dull-clawed pieces of... How could this happen? Yes. Hello. What are you doing out in the middle of nowhere? Going for a walk? This one often walks. Around here, I mean.
Are you alright?
Nervous? Me? Ha! Do not make this one laugh. Hollins here is just horrible. Bandits kicked this one out of his home and stole his crops. Hollins here is just a simple farmer, you see. They will make me a starving pauper.
I could help you.
You will help? Oh, bless you. This one planted his crops in a cavern nearby. Saint Sipilu, please, retrieve my notes and poison the water. Without proper irrigation, the plants will wither. It pains me to kill them, but these bandits must not prosper.
I will collect these notes and poison the crops for you.
You are a true hero, Walker. A brave and noble warrior. Falura and I are forever in your debt.
What exactly are you growing in here?
Sorry, I was just... Hey! You and I have the same belt buckle. What are the chances, huh?
Don't change the subject.
I am sorry. This one is a nervous wreck. Halingier is growing a rare Khajiiti herb. Very delicate and very desirable. Good for seasoning fish and soothing the humors. Satisfied?
We'll see.
Do not worry, Walker. You can depend on Halingier.
Who is this Falura?
Falura is this one's loyal farmhand. She is not very bright, and she is very lazy. Always scribbling notes and asking silly questions. But I keep her on anyway. Halingier always does right by his friends.
Can't you look for a better farmhand?
I could, but this one likes Falura. Plus, she probably knows too much.
Knows too much about what?
Oh, she knows too much about my farming practices. Yes. Halingier has many secret farming tricks, like using fish heads and guar dung for fertilizer. But this one has already said too much, yes?
So you've agreed to help Halingier destroy his crop? I'm not sure whether to be heartbroken or elated. Just be safe, alright? This task is more important than you know.
If I do this, Halingier crops might never grow back.
Well, we wouldn't want that, would we?
You're not in league with these bandits, aren't you?
What? No, don't be absurd. Just do as Halingier asked. Deal with those ruffians in the cavern. We'll speak more later.
Alright. So, seaweed. Alright. More berries. Okay. Catcher fly high. Belts. What do I have? 655, 673. What is this? Open button. Challenger's notes. A series of scribbles, charts, and slings cover the pages of the place. It was happenstance. How do you... So let's check again. Little necklace. Bandit's letter. That stupid Khajiit initial crop was decent enough. Because of it we were able to plant a larger crop in the creek bed after finally getting the area free of those insipid nix hounds, only to be utterly overwhelmed by fetcher flies a few days later. It seems that reducing the nix hound population has somehow increased the fetcher fly population. Either that or a fabled fetcher fly hive golem was able to form in here somewhere. If I would have known this previously, I would never have agreed to the Dark Elf woman's bribe. When Retal and the other two useless morons get back from exploring the western cavern for more of that stupid Khajiit's research, I may put together a fetcher fly hunting party. Try to rid these caves of these blasted pests and their constant annoyances. Alright. What is this? Hive Lord. Defiler spelled medium armor. Part of the Defiler set. Alright. And soul gem and shoulder pads. Okay. Heavy armor. Light armor. You can sell it. Sugar toxin, right? Poisons the crop. There, okay. Multi-faced eye. 1,000 reflections of yourself can be seen if this eye is held up for inspection. Sell to merchant for gold. Right. Monster trophy. Right. Rawhide jack. Do I wear light armor? No. This better. A treasure map, Gold Coast treasure map 2. Interesting. Alright. Now I can leave. Alright. How do I go back? Those are also light armor.
I'm a criminal. Criminals don't ask questions.
Sarah, a moment, please. You made it. Good. We have a great deal to talk about in a short period of time.
Where is Helengir?
In a clearing to the southeast, but that can wait. I trust you've seen what Hallengier and I were growing in there. Moon sugar. In its raw form. It's a crude narcotic, but if you refine it, it becomes something truly odious. Skooma.
If you hate Skooma, why were you helping him grow moon sugar?
I had to be sure he could do it. Moon sugar is temperamental. No one's been able to grow it here in Vardenfell. Until Hallengier. I need you to take the notes you found to Captain Bethis in Seyda Neen. Tell him everything. He'll handle the rest.
Why can't you tell him yourself?
It's complicated. I was a member of House Redwin's Narcotics Oath Bureau. I made some very serious mistakes. If I brought this tip to Captain Bethis, he would ignore me. But he has no reason to distrust you. Please, do this for me, Sarah.
Alright. Let's talk to him.
You are kind to check up on Hallengier, but this one is fine. Again, thank you.
Valora is not coming. She was an undercover agent. She urged me to inform on you to the authorities. The question is, can I do this before talking to him? Those are medium armor. I'll equip those. Light.
Not now, citizen. I'm up to my armpits in problems today.
What? Am I not supposed to talk to you? I should speak with him to verify her claims. Alright, so I have to
Don't cause
talk to her first.
You are kind to check up on Hallengier, but this one is fine. Again, thank you.
Yeah, she urged me to inform on you to the authorities.
What? How could she? Why would she do that? Hallengier is no threat to anyone.
What about skooma?
Skooma? No, no, no. Hallengier does not make skooma. My sister and cousin were both addicts. This one would never make such a thing. I only grow moon sugar, Walker. For personal use, you see. You would not ruin a life over such a thing, would you?
You really don't intend to distribute? It was a huge crop.
Hey, Hallengier has huge appetites. A little sugar in the morning to start the day, a little in the evening to soothe the soul. Moon sugar is a beautiful thing, my friend. The Riddlethar's gift to all Khajiit. Is the pursuit of pleasure really so bad?
So I have options, I guess. Not here are your notes, your secret safe with me. Then you can say dark elves aren't all at all bad. Here are your notes, your secret safe with me. Or we can lie. No, it's fine, I will never inform on a friend. Yeah, let's pick this option.
Hallendier is glad you agree. This one just needs to gather his belongings, then he will be on his way.
Since I'm a Templar, level up. Level 6. Soul James, Cron Experience Scroll, okay. So more stamina. I have 1 skill point. So I cannot invest in here. Devout class skills. This is a ranged spell. I don't need it. At least now. What was the armor? Medium armor, dexterity, increases your weapon critical rating. Increases your stamina recovery for each. Alright. I should pick this one.
Not now, citizen. I'm up to my armpits in problems today.
Yeah, a Khajiit named Hallendier is growing moon sugar in Zain Sipilu. Here is the proof.
Hallendier? I thought him a clueless sugar sop. If he's managed to grow moon sugar here in Vardenfell, he's more cunning than he seems. Make no mistake, we'll find him. The Tribunal thanks you for your help, Outlander. Take this as your reward.
It's light armor. Alright, I will sell it then.
Did you need something else? A skooma baron you'd like to report, perhaps? No? Then move along.
Falura Uverev uncovered Halendier's activities.
Falura? That skooma fiend can barely put her trousers on straight, let alone conduct an investigation like this. You must be mistaken.
No, she told me about her indiscretions. She was hoping this might help her make amends.
Difficult to say. If I had my way, she'd be hanging from the nearest tree. I'll pass it on to my contacts in the Oath Bureau. I will be honest, though, her chances are very slim.
Okay. Delves will always contain a single sky shard in a boss.
Is this on straight?
I haven't found a sky shard. talk to you.
Red mountains bubbling and...
So I want to sell this thing. Sell to a merchant for gold, right? Then we need this. Item set, health rings. Okay. Cool. It's the maximum health. Okay. What is this? The maximum stamina.
I only recently arrived.
Sell. So I haven't found the sky shards, and there must be one. Looks right. What's the sky shard? Sky shards are scattered throughout the world and can be identified by the bright beam of white light they emanate. Discovering 3 sky shards will grant you a skill point, which can be used to unlock or morph new abilities. Okay. Will always contain a single sky shard. So let's search for it. So map indicates nothing. Key filters locations. has a recipe. Journal of the Fallen Officer by Falura Uvilev. It got the job done, that's what I told myself after a tough call after a hard assignment. It may not have been by the book, but hey, nothing ever is. Little things at first, things I thought I would forget by the end of the week. A well-placed bribe here, a promise that my superiors would know nothing about. I kept sleeping and sleeping until I was telling myself that phrase every night, if it got the job done. And who could really question my goals? The House Redoran Narcotics Off Bureau is one of the best forces of good Vardenfell has to offer. What could be more noble? We were cleaning up Vardenfell, one arrest at a time. Anyone who went undercover knew the stakes, and they knew what our superiors were more apt to look the other way if the results were not their liking. Maybe that was my first mistake, thinking no one was looking. The skooma ring I infiltrated was top priority. Skooma is a nasty stuff, and opiate that causes hallucinations. Addictive, deadly, cheap, the drugs is a powerful combination. Even the growth and sale of moon sugar is illegal on Vardenfell's shores for a good reason. With such a high stakes case, they decided to send their best officer, who at the time happened to be me. When an officer infiltrates a skooma ring, there are the expectations, and then there is a reality. They can't avoid certain habits. Bribes are commonplace, extortion as well. No one talks about torture when you are still signing up, but it happens. Deaths come with a bit of paperwork. But hey, who is going to mourn a dealer? All of this you can learn to live with. It's what you eventually can't live without that eats you up. It shouldn't be surprising that a few skooma rings accept members who don't use the product, at least occasionally. There is no bigger red flag than turning down an offered pipe, and in my line of work even the smallest of suspicions can lead to a quiet death in some dark alley. The case itself went off without a hitch. I did my usual reconnaissance, gained trust of those up top, found out who was in charge and where trade was coming in. The case closed within 3 months, quicker than any other officer could have finished it, but not quick enough. I admit I was hooked. It was an itch I couldn't scratch. I thought I couldn't drown. Do not interrupt me, please. I admit I was hooked. It was an itch I couldn't scratch. I thought I couldn't drown out. I started drinking, thinking that would numb the withdrawal, but drink simply washed away my resolve, and eventually I was searching for dealers for a whole different reason. It was fine for me. It was fine for a time. I was able to keep my dosages short, concealed my habit from those around me. It all fell apart when another officer brought in my dealer, and she was more than happy to talk. Not surprising, but I suppose addiction doesn't bring the clearest of mindsets. I was told I was lucky to be stripped of my rank and not thrown behind bars, but I am not one to lie down and accept my disgrace. I am nothing if not resourceful. I have sobered up and smartened up, and now I am on a new mission. I will win back my honor if it's the last thing I do, no matter the means. Okay. But where is the sky shard? this it? Wait. Yes, okay. Sky shots are scattered across the length of Tamriel. For every 3 sky shots you collect, your character gains an extra skill point. Sky shots locations can be found by deciphering hints. Something, okay. Can I teleport from the dungeon? Alright. Looks like I have to leave it. Alright, buy food. Okay, so I have found the sky shard and I can move on further. Very good. I can sell these. Crown experience scroll. We get 50% experience points bonus from all sources for 2 hours. Alright. The timer pauses when you are offline. Alright. Alright. I see a quest coming.
You there, Outlander. I have a proposition for you. So I was right. You're a sword for hire. Excellent. My name is Marla Rethan of House Hlalu, and I have a proposition for you. I need someone to investigate what's going on in the Vasia Didanat ebony mine.
What's your problem?
Piqued your interest, have I? Capital. My brother Benar and I share ownership of the mine, but I suspect he's hiding something from me. The little weasel's even locked down the entrance. Only his personal guards are allowed inside.
What do you want me to do?
There are only 2 keys to the mine. Benar keeps one in our manor house. The other is carried by the mine's foreman, Nox. I want you to procure a key, either one, and then search the mine for any sign of mischief. Report back with your findings.
Okay.
Foreman Nox is somewhere in Balmora. Should be simple enough to pluck the key from his pockets. Or, if you prefer burglary, you could take my brother's key from the desk in his study. Our manor is just up the hill to the west of town.
Okay. Why don't you have a key to your own mine?
My dear brother prefers to keep our roles in the business separate. He runs the mine while I handle the finances. He doesn't interfere with my work, nor I his. That's the agreement.
You can just talk to him about your concerns.
Oh, I have, but Benner tells me nothing. It's just secure more buyers and hire more workers. He gets dreadfully annoyed when I press him about my concerns. Like, why do we need so many miners? Even the townsfolk are starting to talk about that.
What do you mean?
You haven't heard the rumors? The cursed mine of Vasia Didanot, they call it. They go in, but they don't come out. Just inane ghost stories, truth be told. But if the rumors persist, it could soil our reputation.
So why is the concern that something improper is going down on there?
Well, the mine has underperformed for years. I'd actually considered selling it. Until recently, that is. Ebony has been pouring out of the mine these past few months. And normally, I'd be overjoyed, but that's also when Benner became distant.
Something in particular I should be looking for?
Anything out of the ordinary. I don't suppose you'd know the difference between pure ebony and... Never mind. Just give the mine a good look and keep an eye out for mischief. If you find anything odd, bring it back with you.
You seem nervous.
I have many important clients that depend on the success of this mine. They'll hold me personally responsible if anything isn't correct. I'd like to avoid that kind of unpleasantness.
What kind of resistance should I expect?
Well, the key should be no trouble. My brother is away at the moment, and the house guards are not exactly the keenest. If you choose to pickpocket the foreman, well, just avoid the city watch, I suppose.
And once in the mine?
That's the rub. The mine is well guarded. My brother insisted that I hire only the rowdiest and most ill-tempered mercenaries, so I brought on the Iron Hound Company. I can vouch for their pugnacity.
You'll send me against your family-owned hired guards?
I'd prefer to avoid bloodshed, of course, but I don't want to tip my brother off. If he is up to something, I'll need deniability to maintain the element of surprise. Besides, they're mostly criminals, drunks, and skooma addicts. Expendable, yes?
Interesting. So there are 2 ways. So there is a manor or what? The other guy is somewhere in Balmora, he said. Right? Obtain return ski. Press E to pick a locked door. Alright, I have to try again. You are entered a trespassing area and acquired a maximum heat. Guards who will spot you will actively attempt to kill you until you leave the trespassing area. Additionally, you will gain bounty. Alright. Okay, this is the key. And just jump off. Cannot leave or what? You have gained bounty from being witnessed or committing crimes in the trespassing area. You must clear your name when you are wanted for criminal activity. Okay. So now I have to go back to the mine. I hear near the route. Yes, alright. Another one. Ironhound brute.
fish that go with the river's flow are the dead ones.
Ebony is a substance whose acquisition and use tempt mortals into acts of achievement that transcend their usual limitations. Did Lorcan intend something something? So I have to search the mine. Okay. Barrel. Bloody note. Don't let anyone else see this note. Not even our comrades can be trusted. We have got to give this one up. Coin isn't worth our lives. You haven't seen it yet, what I have seen, but they are talking about sending us back in to try to deal with the mess, and believe me, they won't be paying enough for that. Problem is, Retan has some real loyalists in our ranks. They will kill us if we try to run too early. Got a plan though. Lema is making the squads and planning the route. We will get ourselves split from the rest and then make a break for it. If this is as bad as I hear it is, they will probably just assume we died and never come looking for us. We can always find work somewhere else. Okay. This. Minor scrolled letter. Fingers frozen. Turning back like ebony stone. If you find this message, send help. Okay. This letter to Master Retan. Master Retan, you will be happy to hear that your scheme is working perfectly. Well, maybe not perfectly, but well enough. The most recent batch of laborers came in yesterday. They were a sluggish bunch, very too, but the promise of a few more drakes got them moving. They should make a fine batch. That alchemist of yours gave us, is it? He set up shop in the old Daedric ruin. You should see it. Haven't been around that many battles and burners since my days in the skooma trade. He says he's working on some variation of the formula. You might want to ask him about it, boss. There in his lab has gotten sick as is my auntie's moral porridge. Foreman Knox. is this? One-handed Ashlander, okay. Gaverous Journal. My masters are truly fools if they believe this scheme will make them rich. True, the substance produced by the formula looks and feels much like the rare ebony one, but it's not ebony, and any discerning craftsman will recognize this as soon as they use it to produce goods. I have tried to counsel Master Retan on this subject, suggesting it may be wiser and equally profitable to instead focus on selling the alchemical concoction itself, though the formula was exceedingly difficult to translate and requires extreme precision to brew properly. The reagents I require to produce it are not overly rare. I could easily produce large quantities. Imagine my airborne form used as a weapon. It would fetch a fine price. Master Retan disagrees. According to him, the buyers don't care if the ebony is false, so as long as they can use it to produce goods that pass a cursory inspection, they will be happy. Ebony is quite rare and difficult to come by. With us as the source, our buyers should be able to produce passable fakes and then close shop before anyone discovers the deception. If a soldier dies on the battlefield because his ebony plate was not true, that's no money out of our buyer's pockets. Perhaps Master Retan is right. I often underestimate the good awareness that drives so many of my race. As for me, I am content to study and work with such a brilliant formula. Perhaps one day I will find a truer application for it. Okay. Clavicus vial. Okay. What is this? Research notes. Subject K-14 died of head trauma some hours after mercenaries restrained her. Administered the formula, but transportation was not successful. This confirms my hypothesis. Blood pressure must remain consistent until the last possible moment. Death prior to infusion results in only partial transposition. This explains some of our previous failures. A powerful sedative could reduce premature death. Must conduct more trials. Subject R32. A perfect transposition. The deep method seems much more effective in terms of yield and purity. Unfortunately, duration of the procedure has dramatically increased. Rate of output may be insufficient for sale, must be faster. Subject S24. Converting the formula from a liquid to a vapor proved easier than expected. The results are promising. Subject exposed to a vapor exhibited signs of transposition immediately. Unfortunately, the procedure drove the subject into a violent frenzy. Recommend studier restraints for future test subjects. Subject S24. Addendum. Subject remains alive despite complete transposition, defies all existing scholarship and calculation. Violent and erratic behavior has increased significantly. Recommend we suspend experiments until this side effect is resolved. Okay. The Wild Truth of Barbas. From the notes of Pelagios Haber, council hydrologist in residence Imperial, every true hydrologist has a favorite prince. We rarely admit it, but it's true. Each prince, while horrifying, has a curious and often hilarious quirk. Shogorov's peculiarities are well known, but when you really think about it, all the princes are a bit silly. Herzin has the clumsy head of an ungulate. Sanguine is an inveterate drunk. It's precisely these eccentricities that make the princess a source of endless fascination for daedrologists such as myself. Unlike the study and aloof, the Aedra, the princes suffer from the same neurosis, flaws, and childish fixations that trouble men and mer. There are more like us than we care to admit. As for me, of all the Daedric princes, Clavicus Vile is my favorite, and it has everything to do with his loyal hound, Barbas. I have come to believe that Clavicus Vile is unique in that he exists in two persons. This is, of course, the subject of vigorous debate in daedrological circles. Many of my confederates would argue that Barbas is merely a greater Daedric servant, no more linked to Vile than a horse is linked to its rider. But I urge you to consider this the evidence. The first and most obvious proof of their consubstantiality is found in art. Crude, hand-carved idols dating back to the early Malefic era depict the masked figure of Clavicus Vile standing beside a large hound, as do ancient cave paintings. I have explored the width and breadth of Tamriel in search of Daedric oddities, and in all my travels I have never found any depiction of Vile that does not include Barbas at his side. I have also read hundreds of first-hand accounts detailing encounters with the prince. Each of those accounts, without exception, features Barbas in some capacity. If we accept the premise that Clavicus Vile and Barbas are, at least in some sense, the same person, the natural question is why? Why would an entity possessing godlike power allow itself to be bifurcated? I have a number of hypotheses, but my best guess is simply this: companionship. The life of a prince is one of near total isolation. Some princes, like Hermeus Mora and Nocturnal, appear to revel in this solitude, but everything we know of Clavicus Vile indicates that he is a profoundly social being. His love of bartering, his willingness to bestow wishes upon those that engage with him, his bewitching mask, each of these things point to a being that thrives on interaction, conversation, and play. A being so inclined would likely go mad without some companion to speak to, argue with, and complain about. One might even view it as a marriage of sorts, albeit an inverted one. Rather than two becoming one, as in the Pledge of Mara, the one has become two, a paradoxical reversal of the Aedric ritual. But why a dog, you ask? I have puzzled over this for years. Again, I can offer little more than supposition. My best guess is that it has to do with power roles. If Clavicus Vile sheared off a larger share of his animus to create an equal, the two would plot and scheme against each other constantly. In creating a canine counterpart, Vile ensures his position as a master. Dogs are ancient symbols of loyalty and submission. They are servants and never masters, so it is with Barbas. Of course, Barbas is not always a dog. Like other Daedric princes, Barbas can present himself in a number of different forms. He has appeared as both man and mer, as animals, leisure, daedra, even inanimate objects. This ability to bend his shape but retain his fundamental animus is a power that no other daedra on record has been able to replicate aside from princes. That is coincidence? I think not. we will likely never know Babas's true nature with certainty, but the evidence points to me to only one conclusion. Babas and Clavicus Vile are one person in two forms. The master is also the servant, the handler is also the hound. It's a unique and fascinating paradox, the sort of mystery that makes the ideology worth studying. Okay. So there is.
You. I don't recognize you. You've made a terrible mistake in coming here. Do you feel it yet? The cold rush through your veins, the stiffness in your joints. Only a matter of time now. Only a matter of time.
Tell me what's going on here.
You really haven't figured it out. You're denser than those stone fiends. Master Rethan brought me on to study a Daedric text, a formula for turning living flesh into a substance akin to ebony. Not a perfect match, but close enough.
And you lost control of it?
Something like that. But what does it matter? I'll be frozen solid soon, black as midnight. A commodity, nothing more. Ironic. You mean to rob me, I suppose. The scroll's just there. Have a care with it. Wealth always comes at a price.
Is there no cure for this affliction?
None. Well, none that I've discovered anyway. I speak modestly when I say that if there was a cure, I would have found it already.
So you're giving up?
I guess I could squander my remaining hours searching for a remedy, but I'm an alchemist, a daedrologist. We don't trouble ourselves with things like hope. I leave that nonsense to priests and children, the mentally ill.
Why would you agree to this?
What? Afflicting all these miners? Oh, spare me your crude moral outrage. They were wastrels, laborers that were too ignorant or lazy to find work anywhere else. This is as meaningful a contribution as they were likely to make.
You have no remorse?
None. I'd invite you to kill me, but given that I'll be dead soon anyway, it's hardly worth the effort.
How did you become afflicted?
Why do you even care? Oh, fine. I altered the formula, turning the liquid decoction into a vapor. It proved to be very effective. Unfortunately, it was nearly impossible to contain. Hence, this.
Okay.
Now,
I see.
all that's left.
I will take this. I see more bookshelves here. Immortal Bloods. This is not a new text. I could read this in other Elder Scrolls game. I won't read this. This is a dungeon map or what? Wait. Spotting chance. It's bow skill, okay. It's Dark Husband. Like Secunda follows Messer, Cities follows the Night Mother. Her husband pursues, but they seldom pauses, leaving him eternally in shadow. Cities has many names and many parents, or none at all, but his fangs, the fangs of Cities, still bite. They take particular pleasure in envenoming the weak-minded, the foolish, the greedy, or the headstrong, but the fangs can destroy the powerful and the wise as well. Beware those born under the shadow, and all those who seek to use its power. The downfall of our ancestors is tied to the fangs of cities, and our scales remain darkened by his touch. Okay. Leave trail. I see, okay.
Ah, I'm glad to see you made it back in one piece. So, what have you learned? Anything?
An alchemist named Gerus was turning miners into some kind of false ebony.
What? Well, that sounds ghastly. To think that my own brother would be capable of such a thing. We must move quickly. Did you find any evidence? I'll need something concrete if I'm to convince the Hlalu trade barons to intercede.
This is a Daedric formula Gavros was using.
Well done. I have a final task for you, if you're willing. I must take this to the trade baron, Councillor Riveth. He's staying at the Balmora Inn. Alas, Benna has many contacts in town. If he hears that I'm meeting Riveth, he may try to flee.
What will you have me do?
Travel to the Rethan Manor House and detain Benna. Once I've explained matters to Riveth, he'll send Hlalu constables to collect my brother. After this, I'll ask nothing more of you. You have my word.
You really had no idea as it was going on into the mine?
That the men I worked tirelessly to hire were being used as fodder for some vile experiment? Absolutely not. It's appalling. Why would I have sent you to discover what was going on if I already knew?
You said you said you handle the hireling. Did you hire Gavros?
Yes, I hired him at my brother's insistence. Something about valuable books and scrolls found in the shrine. We planned to sell them off once Gavros translated them. That's what I thought, anyway. Wait. Gavros is still alive?
He is dead, killed by his own formula.
I see. That is unfortunate. But I suppose that's the risk you take when you start brewing foul decoctions and poisoning innocent miners.
How long will you be meeting with this councilman Riveth?
Not long. He tends to be brusque. Once I've explained the situation, he'll waste no time bringing Benna in for questioning. It will be brief, I assure you.
Okay, what do you think the council will do to Benner?
They will punish him. Severely. He'll definitely lose his share of the estate and the ebony mine. He may even lose his life. In either case, I'll have to bear the weight of our family assets alone.
Alright.
last piece of the puzzle. Time to tie up loose ends.
Iron sabatons of stamina. Okay. Our work is almost complete. Remain watchful. With any luck, the adventure I conscripted will clean out the remaining stone abominations so we can begin again. This time without Banner mucking things up. Tie off all loose ends and make sure it looks like they killed each other. It needs to be convincing enough for the council. When your work is done, meet me at my residence in Balmora. I will have further instructions for you, and your first payment as promised. This will to be a lucrative endeavor, my dear. Don't fail me. Alright. Where should I go? Go to Melor's meeting. Alright. Should activate this way shrine, I think. Ah, I see. New node. Shrine. Okay.
Malarethan. What a swit. I'm going to need a stiffer drink. You don't appear to be holding my drink, so I'm sure I have no interest in you. Off with you.
You mentioned Malarethan. You must be Councilman Raveth.
I am. Young Mahler and I were talking about the sudden success of his mining enterprise, built on some irregularities that I'd prefer not to discuss. Not that it's any of your business. Who are you? Why are you meddling in Thlalu business?
I doubt Malor gave you a true account. I found these orders on an assassin sent to kill me.
My. This is damning. Dear Mahler tried to hang this whole business around his brother's neck. And yours. A prudent, albeit sloppy affair. House Thlalu can ill afford such a scandal, and I hate to be lied to. Kill Mahler, and I will reward you.
I won't make any promises. Why don't you want him taken alive?
What would I do with him? Chain him to a post? His life no longer serves the house's interests. I don't expect an outlander to understand, but this needs to be done. Honestly, I doubt he'll give you a choice in the matter.
Where can I find him?
His city residence, I expect, just across the river. Do be quick about this. I'm anxious to be done with the Brothers Rethan.
Did Mellor give you the scroll?
No. What scroll? Don't tell me there's more to this fetching disaster.
The scroll contains a formula that can turn people into false ebony stone.
Does it now? Listen carefully. Don't breathe a word of this to anyone else. If Marla has this formula on him, bring it to me. The reward will be significant. We cannot let this get out, and we cannot let it fall into the wrong hands.
Alright, but what will House Talo do about this situation?
By the three, what a mess. I'll put some of my Oathman on it. Oathman I can trust. If we can clear out the riffraff, it might be salvageable. If not, we'll simply collapse the thing. Better to bury it than let some fool stumble upon Marla's folly.
Okay.
Best price is here. Spare a coin.
I see, okay. Wait, how do I get higher? Ah, yes, okay. Another recipe, okay. And level up. Shelf. Daedra worship, aliens.
He hears voices in his head. Don't worry, they're good.
Rawhide placers. So let's level up first. Okay. Atrix spear. Piercing spear. With an Atrix spear ability slotted. Increases your critical chance by 5%. Increases your damage done to blocking targets. Okay, I will take it. And what else? Medium armor 898 826. Right, I will equip it. This is cheap. Another recipe. Trunk. Lockpick. More materials. Another bookshelf.
You! I'll finish this myself!
light armor. Alright. What else? Formula. Alright. Crafting food, okay. A Tale of Bar Dao by Amelie Trals, pedagogue. Not that much, okay. Hearken, young ones, and I'll tell you a tale. A long, long time ago, Shogorov grew bored, which is a very dangerous thing to happen to a daydream prince of madness. As is true of all the House of Troubles, he held no love in his heart, and so he did something very cruel. He took a mighty rock from the void that surrounds us and flung it far, far toward Nirn. Now Shogorov didn't much care where this large rock would yield, or what chaos it would cause. He simply wanted to see what it would do. Who was to stop this evil plan? Was it the divines in all their good and wisdom? No, for they can do no more than offer false hope and hollow faith. Perhaps the Daedric princes with their power and enchantments, but no, neither mare nor man could offer enough to get these pitiful princes to face such a daunting challenge. And so it flew and flew and flew, and straight down it came to the most beautiful island in all of Nirn. It fell toward Vardenfell. Many wept and wailed as it approached. The Ashlanders prayed to Azura, who did nothing. Men and mare prayed to the divines, who did nothing. But the dark elves, we prayed to the tree, to our ever glorious living gods, and Vivek heard our prayers. He raised his hand, calm and serene, glowing in his holy light, and the fall of the celestial rock became slower and slower and slower still, and all who wept and waited and wailed stopped, for Bar Dao had finally come to its resting place. Safely there it hung in the air, above the spot where Vivek city would one day be built. Now you may ask, what wisdom was there in this? Why did not the great Vivek simply set this celestial rock softly down upon Nirn's verdant earth? But listen well, for there is a reason, as with all things the free do. Every day our faith is tested by Bar Dao, and every day we show our love for Vivek and Tribunal by keeping it aloft, because it is our love, our devotion, our faith in the Tribunal that keeps it hovering above. If it's proof of not only Vivek's might, but of the love of his followers. And so it forever hangs, a reminder to all. Together now, praise Vivek, praise the free. Alright. I read this. Boetia's glory. Look upon the face of Boetia and wonder. Raise your arms that Boetia may look on them and bestow a blessing. Know that battle is just such a blessing. Know that death is inevitable. Know that you are dust in the eyes of Boetia. Long is the arm of Boetia, and swift is the blade. Deep is the cut, and subtle is the poison. Worship, O faithful, pray your death is short. Worship, O faithful, pray your death is quiet. Worship, O faithful, worship the glory that is Boetia. Into battle strides the Daedric prince, blade at the ready to cleave the unworthy. Alright. Daedra worship the Elends by Phrastus of Elenir. The reasons why the Daedra are revealed and their worship forbidden among all the civilized race of Tamriel are well understood, as this series of papers will show, are grounded in historical events. The opinions of the so-called academic, who styles herself Lady Cinnabar, notwithstanding the evidence supporting my assertions, is unconvertible and generally accepted by all accredited scholars of antiquity. The Aldmeri, who had been first to begin organized worship of the Aedra, were also the first to venerate the Daedra lords. This probably began on a small scale among the aliens, those elves who left the Somerset Isles to create splinter cultures in central and southwest Tamriel, in some cases specifically to evade the strictures of Aldmeri regulation, which forbade, among many other things, the worship of Daedra. As Eland culture flourished, drawing ever further from Eleanor, in the last millennium of the Meretic era, Daedric worship took hold and spread among the Heartland High Elves. The Aedra were still widely revered, with the probably of a majority of the aliens continuing to pay them homage, but cults devoted to the various Daedric princes sprang up across Cyrodiil, tolerated and then celebrated. Unlike the Chimer, the aliens made no distinction between the good and bad Daedra. Indeed, even some of the more heinous princes received mass veneration, especially when their worship was adopted and endorsed by elite kings and aristocrats. Okay. Widespread Daedra worship among the Heartland Elves was particularly ill news for the tribes of Nedic humans who were then arriving in Tamriel. The aliens enslaved the immigrant tribes of men, at first occasionally but then systematically, and the Nedic people found themselves subject to masters who in many cases worshipped the princes, including those who encouraged slavery, domination and cruelty. Under the aliens, the human thralls found themselves subjects to such Daedra-inspired arts as flesh sculpture and god gardening. In fact, the revulsion for Daedra worship that pervades most human cultures in Tamriel probably originated in this period. The Elysian slave revolt of the early First Era was largely fueled by desperate rage against the aliens' Daedra-inspired cruelty. The elite kings who aligned themselves with the rebellion were largely Aedra worshippers, which in part explains why, once the aliens were overthrown, Queen Alessia incorporated the leading elven Aedra into the first empire's worship of the Eight Divines. Her new empire of Cyrodiil outlawed the worship of the Daedric princes, and Daedra worshipping aliens were exterminated wherever they were found. Thus, by the middle of the First Era, large-scale Daedra worship was extinct in central Tamriel, surviving only among the Chimer in the northeast of the continent and among the Orcs, either Eparia people, who worshipped Malakav or Maulof, their god ancestor. Elsewhere, among man, mare and beast peoples, Daedra worship survived only at the level of cults, which were more or less forbidden. Lady Cinnabar's assertions to the contrary are so much horsewash. Okay.
Quietly now. Is it finished?
Yes, Malur is dead.
Well then, this unfortunate little tale comes to an end. I've already dispatched some of my best agents to clean up Rethon Manor. We'll tend to Marla's apartment and the mine next. Well done. Now, what of this mysterious scroll?
I have it here.
Excellent. Best hand it over to me. Something so dangerous should not fall into the wrong hands. House Hlalu can keep it safe, or destroy it if we deem it necessary. This will earn you some favor with our house. I'll even double your pay.
No one should have this.
You sniveling little swit. Do you know how valuable... Never mind. What's done is done. But don't expect any extra coin from me now. You'll have what was promised for killing Marla and not a drake more. This had better buy your silence as well.
Alright. So what will give me? Two-handed mace. Okay. Backstone hammer of the War Maiden. Alright. And a necklace to sell. Okay. So let me equip it. Okay, so now I can do other quests. Let's talk to her.
I love seeing new faces. For a while it was just the same old miners and the occasional travelling merchant. Thought Caroline might have to shut this place down. Look at me talking your ears off. What can I get you?
My visitors have been scarce.
At first I assumed it was the usual house squabbles. Redrin and Hlalu arguments can get pretty heated. Then I thought maybe the Ashlanders were scaring people off. But after that proclamation... No, I'd rather not talk about that with a stranger.
I just wanted to help.
I'm sure you do, but I have to live here, you know? Look, there's nothing I can tell you. If the houses ever found out I told an outlander about our troubles, maybe one of the miners will be more willing to talk to you.
Okay. Who should I talk also? This is a question. Can I sell you some junk?
House Hlalu?
I want to sell you some crap. This is light armor.
Greetings.
I don't feel so well.
Please, this one needs to get out of here. Those cultists, they're insane.
All right, but keep your voice down. I'll be ready to leave soon enough. In the meantime, if anyone asks, you're just here to haul cargo.
I hope to be done here soon.
House Redoran Proclamation. By order of the House Guard and the Redoran High Council, the Shulk ore mine is closed and all operations toward reopening the mine have been suspended. Workers should stay away until further notice, and visitors are strongly cautioned to avoid the area on pain of fire or imprisonment or both. This includes you, crew chiefs Hondulf. Note that every effort shall be made to locate the missing mine workers as soon as possible. Okay.
What?
This is taking longer than I thought.
Please, this one needs to get out of here. Those cultists, they're insane.
All right, but keep your voice down. I'll be ready to leave soon enough. In the meantime, if anyone asks, you're just here to haul cargo.
So you don't want to talk or what? Wait.
What? Who? This one is just here to haul cargo.
Relax, I'm here to help.
Cultists? But this one said nothing about cultists. Perhaps you are thinking of another Khajiit. Look, Renaku just wants to leave all these crazy dark elves behind and find a safer mine to work in. The Shulk ore mine is cursed.
Tell me about the cultists or start yelling for the house guards. You need the intimidate perk before you can choose this option.
Really? You? Just leave Renaku out of it. If you want to know what happened so badly, just go out to the Shulk ore mine and see for yourself.
Let's see.
Drink to the ladies.
Work builds character, they say.
Shulk ore mine. Okay.